Retired Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer. Glad to have you back, sir. You know, moments ago, the warrant for the Trump raid was officially unsealed. It's a lot of the same details we've been discussing all day here on Newsmax and up and down the cable dial. Now, a lot of folks on cable are going ballistic over the release of the warrant. I don't know about you, Colonel, but I want to see the affidavit.
So that's key because, as you pointed out in your monologue opening up, the story keeps changing. It went from nuclear codes to the type of underwear the French president wears, to personal notes. I mean, it's shifting constantly. And this is what you see from a Justice Department, which has no regard for rule of law. They're simply trying to do things to make a political point. And it's tragic and dangerous. And let me point out something else, Chris, and I think you knew this. President Trump could declassify anything he wanted. He is the ultimate classification authority in the government when he was president. So anything he has, as long as he personally declassified it, he can have it. That's what the grand irony here is, and I think he's going to have. They would have a hard time proving otherwise in any court of law, based on the fact that that's the authorities he had.
Well, that's not the point. The point is that the folks out there in permanent Washington know the folks at CNN and MSNBC are dumber than sacks of rocks, that they're going to, what you just said, they're so eager to get Trump, and they really don't care about the details. Yeah. The point is to get rid of Trump, to get him tied up in court so that he can't run for president. But let's just go over this. First, corrupt elements in the government said nothing at all to justify this raid. Then they said it's a search for classified documents. As you just pointed out, those classified documents were declassified. Then they said, well, maybe it's about the January 6th riot. Now they're saying they're searching for classified nuclear codes, a sentiment echoed, not challenged, by the sycophantic press like the Washington Post. Even my teenager, Colonel, says, hey, Dad, don't they change those codes when the president leaves office? And I guess my teenager is a little more inquisitive than the minds at the Washington Post. So let me ask the question a real journalist should be asking out there. The fact that the government story keeps changing, what does it tell you?
It tells me the same thing we saw during the Russia collusion narrative. I mean, come on, Chris, this is the same thing over and over. The government, the deep state, whatever you want to call it, this cabal of the Democrat Party, the permanent bureaucracy, and the media will just like crowd fund whatever conspiracy. It's Blue Anon. Blue Anon exists, and we're seeing it play out before us. And well, come on, it's true. It's true. What am I saying wrong here? So they did the same thing to my book. Remember Operation Dark Heart? When I got this published, the Army cleared it, and then someone said, "Oh, there's undercover information in there," and then they seized it. So they do this over and over, Chris. No, it's true.
Blue Anon. I love that. That is just so damn awesome. Thank you for that.
They make this up, and then it always transitions. And it's like I said, it's like a blue. It's like, you ever see that movie with Steve McQueen, The Blob? It's like a blue blob, and it just kind of go, and nobody questions it. Nobody questions it, and they just move forward, and until it's. And anyway, I'm sorry. I don't mean to make light of it because this is very serious, but it's just ironic that they do this over and over, and somehow the mainstream media never figures it out because they don't want to, Chris. They don't want to figure it out.
Well, they're part of the blue blob. President Trump, in the meantime, slamming the reports that had the nuclear codes in it. In a statement, he called it, quote, a hoax, just like Russia was a hoax.
Exactly.
2 impeachments were a hoax. The Mueller investigation was a hoax. Much more. Same sleazy people involved. Why wouldn't the FBI allow the inspection of areas at Mar-a-Lago with our lawyers or others present? Made them wait outside and wouldn't let them get close. Said absolutely not. Planting information, anyone, says the president, reminds me of a Christopher Steele dossier, end quote. Well, it reminds me of, well, I'm not going to go into that. The FBI also made sure, Colonel, to shut off all the cameras so there'd be no record of their activity. If there's nothing to hide, why would the crooked DOJ would not allow Trump's attorneys to be present, and why did they shut the cameras off?
Chris, I ran in my career some very complex, very expensive operations, and I would get audited every year. As a matter of fact, I went to the point of where I stuck an auditor full-time in my organization, just so we had transparency. To anybody who wishes to push aside and avoid transparency, they're up to no good. Trust me. And that's what this is all about. They either did things that were illegal, or, to the president's point, they were trying to stick things in there that did not exist. And again, to the casual observer who doesn't understand process, this creates all sorts of drama, because what they want is the inference that the president had something, not the reality of it, because the reality of it's never going to stand up in the court of law, period.
True, very true. Last thing, the Democrats are about to unleash 87,000 new IRS agents, militarizing the IRS agents. According to a job description posted by the corrupt government, said agents should be willing to carry a gun and kill their fellow citizens. First, now we know where all that ammo the government's been buying up is going to go. Next, the basis for our freedom and prosperity has been our right to private property. With their new secret police, is private ownership on its way out the door in America, courtesy of the Socialist Democrat Party?
I think we have to examine this through the lens of the founding fathers, Chris, and private property, to include intellectual property, was something the founding fathers wanted to protect in the Constitution. And to me, this indicates that we need to remove all this arrest authority from the federal government and place it down via the 10th Amendment back down to the states. I don't think the federal government should have all these law enforcement agencies, all these people with guns running around. They're administrative. If there are clear cases of fraud or crime, all of this should be done through the local sheriffs, because sheriffs are the closest individuals in law enforcement to the people. And the more you give these federal bureaucracies unfettered access to guns and ammunition, they're going to use it. You put this stuff in those bureaucracies, you train all these people up, Chris, it's going to result in tragedy, mark my words. So you arm these guys up, they want to get out there and play cowboy. Boy, you think Breaking Bad was a bad TV series? Just wait till you give guns to the IRS. It's going to be worse.
Yeah, I'm looking for Blue Anon to come to Netflix sometime soon. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer, thank you so much, man. Appreciate the service to the country and to the program.
J.P. Morgan's CEO is warning that an economic hurricane is coming. Are you preparing? If you don't do anything, your 401k could be a 201k, and that is not good. So call our trusted friends at Lear Capital. For 25 years, Lear has helped investors own gold to protect against market chaos. It's a good thing. They can help you, too. Get your information and up to $15,000 in bonus IRA gold. Just call this number, 800-880-4300. That's 800-880-4300.